What's going on, you guys? Thank you for subscribing to the channel. This is Jermaine from All Things Labor Law. I have a YouTube channel called All Things Labor Law and a Facebook page with the same name. Today we're going to be talking about UIF and the history of UIF and where it comes from. But before we start, please like and subscribe to our channel and leave a comment. We have an online discussion platform on YouTube where you can also leave your comments on there. I'm mostly active on Facebook, so that will be the best platform for you to get in touch with me, and you'll find some content there quite informative. So today we're going to talk about the UIF, and I'm going to tell you the truths about UIF that not many people know, so you can be informed. There's not in the media, you won't find anywhere. It's just experience that I've gathered over the years. So let me just give you the history of the UIF. There's a couple of points that I'm going to be mentioning, and then, as I said, you can just leave a comment, and then we can have a discussion about it. Okay, so UIF has been here in this country for many years. The UIF was first introduced in this country in 1946, and that is where the first contribution started. And I remember even my grandmother telling me stories about the time that she claimed UIF. I mean, my grandmother was born in 1938, and as I said to you, that the UIF started back in 1946 already. When she claimed UIF, she went to back then was Department of Manpower, went to claim UIF, and then they gave her a list of companies that she needs to go to and find out whether there's work there first before she can get a next payment. So she would go to, she was a seamstress by profession. So the Department of Manpower back then had a database of all the seamstress companies who need people that have that skill. And she would go to these companies, and then they would say to her, okay, yes, we do have a job for you, or no, we don't have a job for you. And then she will have to fill in this card back then. And then if the employer signs the card, now what have to happen is, and she will have to go back to the Department of Manpower back then, and then say she was unsuccessful, and then only a payment would be described for. And that's pretty much the model that is quite prevalent even now. UIF is based on you being completely unemployed, and they give you like a temporary relief. Let's fast forward, skip years forward. Okay, now another aspect of the UIF was that in the late 90s, the UIF almost went bust. There was almost no money available to pay people, and the model that they had back then was not sustainable. What happened was that anybody could resign at the company and then just come claim UIF. That was one of the biggest problems that they had, where people just decided to leave their jobs and just decided to go claim UIF. They knew there was a fallback position, and then there were serious amendments made to the act, and that was introduced in 2001. So that's why it's called the UIF, the Unemployment Insurance Act of 2001, where everything was reformed, and there was many criteria now that was put in place in order for you to claim your UIF. There few of them was like, the first and foremost, the one that they used was, if you terminate your own services by way of resigning or absconding from your work, so you think maybe you can get away with that, you won't be able to qualify for UIF. And there was only a certain amount of years that you could claim UIF. So one of the examples was that even if you work for one company for 30 years, don't think you'll get UIF for full 30 years. The UIF only pays you for the last 4 years of employment. Please note that I have made a video about the UIF, the latest version of the Act. It's called the Unemployment Insurance Act of 2016, where the amendments took place. I break it down nicely there, and please look at the link above the screen, and then you will better understand what I'm talking about today. So yeah, some of the things that has changed over the time, especially with the Act of 2001, was there was new criteria for people to apply. Anybody just couldn't come apply because there were safeguards in place for that. You must remember, the UIF fund is one of the most healthiest funds on the African continent. It is estimated that the fund has about over 200 billion rand in there. However, it won't be sustainable for everybody to send on the Department of Labor's offices and all companies in the entire country coming. Then the fund will be depleted rapidly, and that is one of the cold hard truths about the UIF at this point in time. South Africa is one of the first countries who adopted UIF. Like I said, it started in 1946 already. And some of the other, there's only a few African countries that even have a fund that is about UIF, that is a relief measure for people that's unemployed. We recently discovered now that Namibia is also going to start to implement a similar scheme like UIF. And they actually South Africa actually sent a delegation down to Namibia to help them streamline that and to ratify it in their parliaments and just to have the ball rolling. That was in 2016 they already started that, but nothing has happened so far. Just to name an example. Finally, there's one important thing that I would like you to remember with regards to UIF. At the moment, we have this COVID-19 problem, and the government has made a special application process with regards to that. I mentioned it as well in my Facebook page. Please go check it out, All Things Labor Law on Facebook. Anyway, coming back to the matter at hand. So you get a COVID-19 application, and then you do get a reduced time application, and there's a big difference between the two. The reduced time application is when your hours is reduced and you can now apply for UIF, and that also you will find on my YouTube channel with regards to the amendments to the 2016 amendments of the UIF. So the COVID-19 application is basically a free application. It's almost like maternity. Maternity is basically a free application. There's no money you won't be negatively affected. But the drawback with reduced time application is the fact that if you apply now for that reduced time application, you won't be able to apply in future when you actually get retrenched from your employer. Remember the trying times now at the moment where all companies are under distress. In the event you do get retrenched and you have already applied for this reduced time application, then your credits will basically be exhausted and you won't be able to get your normal benefits. It will exhaust your money very quickly. So my advice is rather not apply for the reduced time application. Well, you don't know what will happen in the future. So I would say that in the event you do get retrenched, there is a substantial amount of money there waiting for you, so you can be able to have alleviate some of the financial constraints that you might have. So that is my advice. I'm going to read something from my Facebook page that I've posted. It was regards to the COVID-19 problem that everybody is facing at the moment. And I say here, the model that was envisioned was that the employees tap into those funds available, including the Solidarity Fund and the Relief Fund administered by the Department of Small Business, so that all companies can continue paying their workers as per normal. Apart from what I mentioned in my previous post. My previous post I mentioned about the temporary employer-employee relief scheme that people can tap into. And also all these pronouncements by the President in his first speech, as well as the Minister of Employment and Labour, also urging employers to pay people salaries as per normal, so they can tap into this fund, so there can be relief for them as employees, but at the same time continue to paying people, because it's not sustainable, like I said previously, for everybody to descend on the Department of Labour's offices and then come to apply. The model that was envisioned was for the employer to apply for these benefits on behalf of the employees, so that everybody will be able to at least have some money. Long-standing members of this page will always know that we always advocate for people to belong to unions so that they can have some power in the workplace, because obviously individuals don't have much power. To advocate for employers to pay people on time and have consequences against employers for not paying people. And I think the government did a good job in structuring this COVID-19 epidemic, the way they handle it, and the measures they put in place for people to be able to at least have something. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and feel free to subscribe and leave comments on the Facebook page or on the YouTube channel. There's a discussion platform on the YouTube channel. We can have interaction, so please subscribe. Thank you.